Welcome to Immortal Wisdom with Denis. I'm Vanessa Anceloni, and this is video 14th of a 15 video series on 15 incredible chapters that Denis wrote in the book After Death. You can acquire the book at the website of the United States Spiritist Council, spiritist.us. Today we're talking about social issues. That's the title of the chapter. And Denis, let's not forget, he wrote these chapters to show us how Spiritism can clarify the pathway through which we can acquire a better disposition to build a better life. And being socially engaged and socially aware is of the essence. We're social beings, as Kardec clearly revealed to us in the Spirit's book, Law of Society. We're social beings. So what do we know about society? Denis begins the chapter in a very incredible way. He says, our times are deeply troubled by social issues. When did he write it? He actually wrote it in the year 1890 and published actually on Christmas Day that year. And things have not changed that much. The issues are continue in a very similar way. Why? We want to know the roots, the cause of it. Well, first of all, he says something that Kardec reveals to us. And when I say Kardec, we mean the spirits, the illuminated spirits, through the compilations of Allan Kardec. And he says to us that civilization is true when it really follows moral growth. And we're yet to see that unfoldment on the earth. We're getting there, but we have many social gaps, right? And that's one of the things that Denis talks about, the fact that there is so much misery and poverty and social inequalities. And he's even going to touch the subject of women and women being socially disfavored, unfavored by life. So let us meditate on the steps he gives to us. He says, misunderstandings, hatred, envy build up and they deepen the gap between social classes. He talks about the fact that there are wars, governmental issues, and how can one reconcile the social classes and appease the weak passions if everything incites one to fight and the living forces of the nations are heading towards destruction. We're living in a very year 2016, defining year in the United States of America through its elections and many other countries around the world. And we can tell that the social inequalities are still present and we need to take action in that regard. But he's not promoting communism, and he talks about it in this chapter. He says it doesn't resolve a thing. And he says the cause of evil resides within us, in our passions and in our errors. That is what we must change. In order to improve society, the individuals must get better. So if we want to help society, let us improve ourselves. Let us improve our own family life and our communities, neighborhoods. Don't be afraid. And for that to happen, they must acquire the knowledge of what? The superior laws of progress and solidarity, and become aware of our nature and our destiny. And solely the Spirit's philosophy is able to provide this knowledge. So he's telling us quite clearly that to improve, we need social spiritual awareness. It's impossible to improve to another level without such awareness. We need it. So whatever you can do to share such knowledge, do it. Don't be shy. We've had enough with fear of sharing the best of our lives. Let us share. Kardec actually says in the Spirit's book that Spiritism came to destroy materialism, but not this materialism that people talk about, being, oh, they want money, they like money. No, materialism has so many forms. It's when we focus on matter instead of spirit. So, for example, when our families are more important than somebody else's family, we're materialistic. When we think that having a biological child is more important and more true than adopting a child, we're materialistic. When we think that our neighbor is worth less than us because he doesn't belong to our nation because he's a foreigner, we're materialistic. There's so many forms of materialism that go beyond just money and social economic status. It's about, for example, thinking that people are less just because they don't belong to our social circle. That's materialism too. Many forms of materialism. And Leon Denis says to us quite clearly that the revelation of Spiritism creates a feeling of fraternity and solidarity as an obligation. And he says something that is striking. He says, thanks to the revelation of the Spiritism, fraternity and solidarity become an obligation. Nobility of action and thought come to replace that of the titles. And he talks about the law of fraternity. He says the law of fraternity would make us have different relationships. So next time we go to a restaurant, look at the waiter and waitress in a different way. They are brothers and sisters of ours. Your employees, your bosses, your teachers, everyone, the doctors, physicians, nurses. And remember, we emit vibrations. So it's not about saying, it's about feeling, it's about emitting vibrations. That's how we can help our world and one another. And of course, he talks about the issues of women. He finalizes the chapter talking about that, and he says how we should change it. He says our duty is to work according to our capacity to accomplish the providence designs on the earth and allow women to equally have rights on the earth. It's amazing because he puts the role of women at the highest level, saying that our society is clearly going to improve when we bring women also to another level. This is Leon Denis, a man of his time, 19th century, telling us this. Quite unique, quite at the vanguard of humanity, and still it's a thought and a feeling that we yet to see unfolded throughout the planet Earth in our 21st century. He finalizes the chapter by telling us, may humankind dedicate to this task of fraternity even a small portion of the passionate fervor they show for politics. May humans uproot from their hearts the very principle of evil, and the great social issues will be solved rapidly. So if you're listening to this, and I am just sharing with you what I'm also learning from Leon Denis, Kardec, and the other spirits, it's an invitation for us to become more socially engaged. Socially engaged. Let us think about this. What can we do? Sometimes focus groups in our communities can do a great deal of difference. Let us think about this and share the teachings of the spirits, because they can certainly change our society. It's the fact of social transformation through spiritist awareness. Until next video.